We always have a good margarita.
Oh.
Say we always have a good margarita. I'm really looking forward to those. I'm definitely.
So you actually get a chance to have a margarita.
Usually I get a little chance. Yeah. No, it's lots of fun and games. Don't be fooled. This is probably the coolest job I will ever have, hands down.
Right.
So started life off pretty good.
So this
only
is
goes downhill from
your first real gig, right?
I mean, I would say it's definitely my first major gig.
Yeah.
And I've been really fortunate to have great team members and an excellent predecessor, Sarah. Love you if you're watching. Sarah, yeah, she's got my heart forever, and truly saw when I didn't see what I wanted to do, and she kind of, helped me pull this together and set me up for a positive experience.
So, excuse me, the best way for someone to get involved, start out as a volunteer.
Oh gosh,
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and I mean volunteering in itself, even if you don't have an end goal of trying to actually get a job with any organization, volunteering is something that really helps your mental health, I think. Because you're giving back to something, you're networking with other people. It's a tangible feeling,
Right. Yeah.
So, we have so many opportunities if, you want to work backstage and help set up the lounge area for artists. If that's where you really thrive, we've got tons of opportunities and a wonderful backstage hospitality coordinator who'd love to have you. But maybe you're into the culinary world and you want to get into our kitchen. There's so many opportunities, and we'll work with you to make sure you can find a spot that fits.
And if you volunteer, what are these paid volunteer positions, or how does that work?
So you're earning your ticket.
Okay.
You're earning your ticket to the festival. And so you put in 12 hours throughout the weekend, so really short 3-hour shifts. And it's just as soon as you're getting excited and having fun with the people you're working with, then you're off. And then you get to go do whatever else you had planned for the day. And throughout those 4 shifts, you earn your ticket. And usually the shifts are, they're all different times of the day. So if you're not a morning person, you can have a night shift. If you are a morning person, we'd love to have you because there's less of those at festivals.
We have, let's see, trash, parking, hospitality, backstage.
There's backstage. There's the ticket booth.
Ticket booth.
If you love high pressure situations, the ticket booth is always a good place.
Or if you can handle high pressure situations.
Yeah. There's trash.
I don't think anybody loves them.
No. Yeah, it depends. I don't know. You eat those for breakfast, but no. There's trash, which is fun. You ride around on the back of a truck with our really awesome trash ours is what we call them, and pick up the trash, bring it back to the field. That is a rewarding place to work for sure, because we try so hard to keep the festival as green as possible. So we actually are separating our cans and bottles and cardboard and making sure it goes to all the right places, so you can see the magnitude of what happens at a festival. There is trash, there is recycling, and we really make sure to treat it properly. So.
Yeah, we create some waste, but do our best to sort. Sustainability is a big part of the festival. It's definitely a part of why I got involved, the whole ethos of that. And we're going to be talking to Pierre later, who's one of the guys that's kind of headed up the sustainability efforts for the festival since really day one. And so, yeah, definitely something that's very important. So, and am I mistaken that Cassandra, those guys, they stick around for about a week later? I mean, they're sorting for a week?
Yeah, we don't just, the festival doesn't end on Monday. The festival, for us, takes, a solid week or two to break everything down and put it away properly and make sure that, like I said, all the trash is sent to the right place. So yeah, Cassandra, shout out to Cassandra and Craig.
Yes.
trash gurus.
To you both. Thank you very much for all you do. Yeah, knee deep in waste.
But they love it. They always have a smile on their face. I mean, you
For
go
sure.
up some days and you think, oh, these guys must be really having a hard day, and they're like jamming tunes and hanging out. It's cool, you know. You get to see kind of what's left over sometimes. You know, people forgot things or left things in service. And
Right. You can go scavenging at Shakori Hills. So, isn't there a contest around recycling?
Yeah, I was actually just going to mention that.
Okay.
So recycling rewards, if you bring up your trash and recycling separated already for us, you get the chance to be entered into recycling rewards raffle, to which we pull a name, and then you get free tickets to the next festival, all for just being a great human and doing your part.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you bring it up pre-sorted into bags.
Yep.
Any particular kind of bags that need to happen?
We have the color-coded, the clear for recycling and the black for trash, and we also give those away for free. So don't even worry about bringing your own trash bags. We've got you. Just stop by the ticket booth.
It's all the ticket booth.
It's all the ticket booth,
Okay.
and we've got plenty. We've got plenty.
Just
we really
ask.
encourage just ask. Yes.
That's fantastic. And so the we've got recycling, volunteers needed for sure.
Always needed. We're always happy to have you guys.
Yeah. Is our call for volunteers open right now, or is that?
That's a great question.
Okay.
So we are going to be putting up the volunteer application, I would say probably more like the second week of March.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll have plenty of time to sign up. Pretty easy application. Tell us about yourself. Tell us what you would like to do. And Elaine, our fantastic volunteer coordinator, will get back to you and assign you some shifts that work best for your schedule.
And yeah, kids area just by itself takes about 100 volunteers.
Yeah.
So definitely get your application in early to secure your spot. And we need help setting up about 2 weeks ahead of time. We have some setup weekends, and we don't need a ton of people, but we definitely need some folks. And,
yeah, if the weekend doesn't work out for you to volunteer, we have before and after opportunities to, that are still very important to us.
For sure.
Are definitely very important to us.
That's when it starts getting fun around the property, is when the dance tent goes up and cabaret tent. We're starting to feel festy.
Yeah, it totally blossoms. This time of year, the property is all nature, very quiet, super wonderful, peaceful.
Peaceful.
And then you get to April and it just totally comes alive. You know, there are tons of people there, and it comes alive in a different way. Tons of people come out and are ready. They're just as excited as, there's this major excitement feeling in April.
So advance tickets are on sale now through Sunday, May, the 3rd. And then gate rates start, and the ticket booth opens when?
The ticket booth will open the Saturday before the festival.
Okay.
When that is when early camping begins. So you have an opportunity to come and set up your camp early. It's $10 in advance for tent campers. It's $10 per day for vehicles or RVs to be parked at the property. So if you come on Saturday, you're going to pay a little bit more than if you bring your camper on Tuesday before the festival.
But you get a little bit preferred spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of get your pick of where you want to be, and really $10 a day is so $10 for an RV or a vehicle. No matter what.
So $10 for an RV or a vehicle. Yes, doesn't depend on. It doesn't matter about the size.
Okay.
Just
and so
anything bigger than a tent.
Okay, and so anything bigger than a tent. We are gonna wrap it up with Emily, and we're gonna get Scott from Foothills in here next. But y'all stick around. We're gonna be revealing the bands as we go through the program. So thank you.
Oh my
being
gosh,
here.
yeah, and I just want to say thank you to the whole staff here at Circle City Recording. I can't thank you guys enough. Everyone who's been involved really means a lot to us.
Yeah, these are gentlemen, not so much scholars, but definitely gentlemen. All right, we'll be right back with Scott from Foothills. All right. Welcome back to our live broadcast of the band announcement for the 2020 Shakori Hills Grassroots Festival of Music and Dance. I'm here with Scott Miserak, Regional Sales Director of Foothills Brewing in Winston-Salem. Hey, man.
How's it going, man?
Fantastic. Good to see you. It's been chaotic. Haven't got to spend so much time with you this morning, but I appreciate you coming on and doing it.
No doubt, no doubt.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, man.
So, hold on. What are you drinking?
I've got our new Juicy IPA, Festival Express.
Well, isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
Product placement. Pretty
exciting about it, man.
Let me check that. I haven't seen the bottle or anything, man. Or a can, I should say. So that's beautiful. Oh, it's got a guitar right there in the front, an acoustic. That's awesome. So tell me about this. Where'd this idea come from, and when did you launch it?
Well, we just launched this beer about 3 weeks ago. We've been a partner with Chicory Hills for a number of years. We do a couple other festivals around the region, and music's an important part of what we do. Music and beer go together.
Yeah.
So we're really passionate about combining both, and the idea was like, let's do a beer that we're going to do a new beer anyway. It's our first 6-pack can we're putting out. We're really excited about that.
Awesome.
So we wanted to, let's do a beer that we can tie into these festivals.
Yeah.
And not only just the music festivals, but I mean, people are going to drink it year round. We do beer festivals and the Renaissance Festival and things like that. So just trying to tie it all together. Try to, give shout outs to our partners and yeah.
Well, so yeah, you've been coming to Shakori. Y'all have been a sponsor. Foothills has been a sponsor for going on 4 or 5 years, right? And then you've been coming for, I think, longer than that as a fan.
Yeah, I have, and I can't say that I've been every year, but definitely, I went to school at NC State, so I've been in the area for a long time. And,
Go Pack.
Yeah, go Pack. It came out to the festival when I could with some friends of mine. It was kind of first introduced to it. A couple of my coworkers, they've been going to the festival longer than I've known them,
Okay.
So it's kind of a cool thing where for Foothills, it's a family thing for us. We love being part of the Chicory family, but we get all of our families out there, and it's been a great time, man. I think it was kind of how I got introduced to Don the Buffalo.
Oh yeah.
Of course, this is their gig.
Yeah.
But I've always had a blast out there. The vibe's always great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You should see these guys set up if you haven't seen it. It's they take over a whole section. You're definitely a family vibe. Scott and his wife and kids and his colleagues and all their friends and family and everybody. It's great, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But why did you get into it? Why Shakori? Right. There's so many festivals in North Carolina and
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I hate to say it was easier with Chicory, but I live in Raleigh. My territory is basically from here to the coast.
Okay.
So, there really isn't that many other festivals on this side of the state.
Right.
So as far as for my territory where I work, I've met people through the industry. Sarah, that used to be the director, I was connected to her by somebody else that in the music business.
Okay.
Said you should talk to Sarah, and I said okay, cool.
And here we are.
Because as we all know, Chicory for years there was no beer sold. And the campers, the people coming, you bring your own beer. That's still part of the festival, which is a good thing. You're going to alienate those people if you say you can't bring any beer. You got to buy it from us.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to get in on the ground floor of the beer sale program at Chicory and help that to grow. Working with you and your team and Emily, and it's just been a really fun thing over the last few years to see what it's become.
Yeah, and we can't thank you enough for everything that y'all do for the festival. For sure, man. Like, if you're familiar, the old barn had which is this big, beautiful oak right beside it, which is one of the trees that was the inspiration for purchasing the property back in 2005 or so, and to trying to get it rolling. And it came down in a big storm a couple of years ago, And so we've transformed the barn into a bar, Old Oak Bar, and these guys take it over. And y'all, every festival, y'all tweak it and do something different, add a little bit here and there, and it's making it. It was the coffee barn, now it's the Old Oak Bar. So thank you for that, man.
Yeah.
And so where you've got the Old Oak Bar, and then where else on the property?
In the main field, the meadow stage,
meadow,
right next to the Vinyl Lounge, is
Okay.
where the other beer sale point of sale is at.
Okay.
And usually that's where a lot of the beer is being sold. Obviously, right by the main stage. Yeah, it's been good. I mean, we've really enjoyed the Old Oak Barn. I think that's a pretty cool area, and to see what we've been able to do the last couple of years with that. And I was going to mention, to your point, I mean, for a company like us, branding's key. That's important to any company. You got to get your brand out there. We like to, hang up our banners and do whatever we can to be visible at the festival. But the one thing that I always think about, and my guys and I talk about, is we don't want it to be gaudy. We don't want it to be just Foothills plastered all over that, because that's not what it's about.
Right.
It's about the festival. Whether Foothills is there or not, the festival's still going on. So we I guess try to keep it classy, and think of new ideas every year of how we can get the brand out there, but make it fit in with the vibe. And that's part of with this beer this year. With Festival Express, is going to be a big one for us. Chicory in the spring will be the first music festival that this beer is available at.
Really?
So that's going to be exciting.
Awesome.
And in our team, we try to be interactive with the clientele that's out there. We always do some T-shirt launches off the stage, and get some swag out there to people. But really looking forward to this spring.
So what other brands do you know? What other brands you're going to be bringing?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have our Hopium IPA out there.
Okay.
That's our flagship. That's my favorite. I mean, I've been drinking a lot of this beer lately, but it's hard not to go back to Hopium. And we usually we'll have a lighter option. Our 1,000 Smiles Golden Ale has always been really, really good one to have out there. Our Torch Pilsner, which is a beer that I'm really proud of. That's a beer that we've been doing since the beginning of the brewery. For those people that don't know the brewing industry or brewing beer, lagers and ales, your two styles. Lagers, which a Pilsner is a lager, is a little bit harder style to brew. It just takes a little bit longer.
Okay.
And it to hide imperfections, things like that. But this is a beer that we've perfected. It's amazing, and we've been getting a lot of accolades over the last 2 years. And this beer's been out for 13 years, and so it's nice to see that. We'll probably have some other hoppy beers. I don't really know. We do some small batch IPAs that we might try to get out there. And we've got a wit beer in the works for our summer seasonal. Oh. That'll be a brand new beer, and that should be ready for the festival too. So I definitely am going to bring that one out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So 2 new beers.
Definitely be 2 new ones.
That's great. And and we've got a little something cooking for later on this year too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Foothills is going to do something really special. So if you're not aware, the Chicory Hills Grassroots Festival is a nonprofit event that supports the Chicory Hills Community Arts Center, which is also a nonprofit. And the proceeds from the festival support the music and art education that the community center does in Chatham, Orange, and Durham counties. And so in keeping with that spirit, Foothills is going to do something special for the art center this year. Yeah.
So we do a small batch IPA series called Craft Happiness IPA Project. The whole thought process behind this, we've been doing for about 5 years, basically like a beer of the month type thing. So it's always a different IPA every month, different recipes. I mean, there's always a lot of the same hops used, but TL, our brewmaster, is always changing it up. That's kind of where this beer came from. It's a good way for him to experiment, see what he likes, and then we introduce a new beer. It's a derivative of one of those beers we've done in the past.
Okay.
So with the Craft Happiness Project, the whole idea is to draw attention to, just the well-being of the world. Tying in some kind of charity with each beer. that we can call attention to, help raise a little money for. But it's a wider span with these beers. We did one last year called Nautical, and it was to draw attention to the Ocean Conservancy.
Oh, cool.
But you can use that to work with any charity you'd like, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
So I pushed the envelope a little bit. Said, hey, let's Chicory Hills is a nonprofit. Let's do something that can tie to that. So in September, the beer that we're going to be doing is called Artium.
Cool.
And the Chicory Hills Art Center will be, the charity that's called out for that beer. I don't have a recipe yet. That'll be coming down the pipe. But really excited about that because it's something we're going to be able to feature at the festival. And the idea that you and I talked about was, well, let's do something before that. Yeah. We'd like to do beer dinners. So right now we're in the process of working with the Roadhouse here in Pittsburgh to do a beer dinner in September with the release of that beer. We're going to get Shane, our chef at Foothills, to come up and be like the guest chef that night. And it would probably be 4 to 5 courses, usually how these beer dinners work.
Yeah.
And it'll be a ticketed event, but it'll be a good way to kind of kick that beer off a couple weeks before the Fall Fest, and start drawing attention to what we got going on. Yeah,
look for that in mid to late September. We're definitely working with Greg at the Roadhouse, and thank you, Greg, for like I said, thank you to all Pittsburgh businesses that are supporting Chicory Hills, and what we're trying to do. The Art Center provides free or low cost, no cost music and arts programs to the surrounding counties, and so partners like Foothills and the Roadhouse is very important. The budget's small. We're trying to boost it. So thank you for. They approached us about Artium and said, the Art Center is going to be the beneficiary. So that wasn't me pushing. That's going to be fantastic, man. So what do you you keep coming back every year? Any tips or tricks for the newbie, the Chicory Hills newbie?
Yeah, I mean. I guess it might be blasphemous to say this, but you always got to think about rain. That's always been a big thing with Chicory. Although, moving the festival a little bit later in the spring has seemed to work out really well the last few years. But, make sure you have...
Knock on wood.
Yeah, and that time of year, too, you never know what the temperature swing is going to be.
Yeah.
So make sure you have, bring a pair of boots out there. Yeah. Have your rain jacket, but have... shorts and t-shirts, but have the clothes that when it gets cold at night. Ticks can be kind of tough out there, so have your bug repellent and drink plenty of water. And
that's for sure. Yeah, because it can get hot, even in October.
Right.
This last one was dry and hot. We had to put a burn ban, so. Definitely check the weather ahead of time. And that's kind of a preview to something Scott's going to be doing for us. We're going to be working with REI of the Triangle in Raleigh, Cary, and Durham. And Scott's going to do some Festival 101 camping classes at those stores. So REI is a new partner for us. It's one of our ticket outlets now. We're going to be, so Scott's going to be doing some classes, dates TBA on that. And then we're also working on doing some coolers maybe doing some combined REI and Foothills. Order your cooler of beer ahead of time for your campsite. So we're going to, we'll release more on the website about that soon too. Yeah. So, any other tips or tricks for?
It's just come have a good time. Be cognizant of your neighbor. It's a community out there, and everybody gets along. You're gonna have a great weekend.
Awesome.
Know your limits. You can see that at a lot of festivals. Chicory's a little bit different than a lot of festivals I've been to, though, because it's such a family-friendly thing.
Yeah.
We've been bringing our kids basically, at least for a day since they were born. Starting out with my kids. My son was probably 2 months old the first time he went. My daughter was about a month and a half old, and so it's been really fun to bring them up in that kind of scene and culture, and to experience some different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great event out there. It's a great place. Always a lot of good people.
That's awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in and doing this.
Definitely.
Definitely check out foothillsbrewing.com. You can bring your own beer to Shakori Hills, but you have plenty of options out there, from foothills bars to liquor bars, and wine, liquor, and beer is sold. So we definitely encourage you to come out, bring your cup, your reusable cup, if you would, please, and we'll be happy to fill it up. Scott, thanks for your time, man.
Thanks, David.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Chicory Sessions band announcement of the 2020 Spring Chicory Hills Grassroots Festival of Music and Dance. I am joined by Jen Browning, who is one of our Healing Arts coordinators. Or are you the Healing Arts coordinator?
Well, I'm the coordinator, and then Matt Herschel helps me with the movement tent.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, I'm still learning too, folks. Matt helps with the movement tent. Healing Arts is a big part, and movement are a big part of what we do. It's what I try to talk about in all of our graphics and everything too.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you. I mean, so tell me, or tell our guest, what What are we looking at? Different classes? Or are we talking about what kind of programs are we talking about?
Well, we pretty much are there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday we kind of take a day of rest, though. This time on Thursday evening around 11:11, we'll have some breath and music workshop that people can come to. So it'll be late night.
Oh.
And we have a tea house that is open at night for people to kind of come have a respite, have a cup of tea, just sort of enjoy some peace and maybe a conversation if they're feeling overwhelmed by the activity that's going on.
Yeah.
We have yoga classes all day, every day, from about 9 in the morning, maybe 10 on some days, until 6 or 7. We have a fun little class on Friday nights. He uses Grateful Dead music. And in honor of Mother's Day, this year we're starting family yoga on Sunday.
Fantastic.
So you can bring the kids. I think it's at 2 o'clock. Bring the kids, and there's going to be some partner yoga with the kids, and that'll be fun.
That's fantastic. My son was working on his tree pose the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
And those are good for us as we get older, too. It keeps their balance.
Yes.
I've
found out how sturdy my tree is or not some days. Yeah.
Yeah, that can be a rude awakening.
Yes.
And then we have a full group, a great crew actually, of practitioners in the healing arts where people can come by if they're feeling sore or overwhelmed with sleeping on the ground. Yeah. We have a lot of our usual people, like Michael Savino really brings a great crowd. He does ashiatsu. He's been with us for, well, longer than I have, actually. And then we've got a few new faces this year. Gabby Bishop and Mark Cosma are joining us.
And so are all these folks from around Pittsburgh, Chapel Hill area? Or?
Mark lives in Durham. I think Michael's in Rougemont, which is just north of Durham. Our chiropractor is from Chapel Hill, Drew Kluger.
Okay.
And it's just a great crew. We have a good time. I do actually need volunteers for the registration table. I know Emily was talking about volunteers earlier.
Definitely. The volunteers for healing arts, all sorts of stuff. So what would a volunteer do at the registration table? Is that registering people for the classes, or?
No, with the classes you could just come grab a yoga mat. We have yoga mats available, or you can bring your own. So just come grab a yoga mat, look at the schedule, and figure out which class best suits your needs. We've got a lot to choose from.
Cool.
Each class is about 50 minutes long, starting on the hour.
50?
50 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So that you have a little bit of leeway and people can get off the floor and everybody can find a space. You asked me something.
Well, no, about registration.
So like 4-hour shifts. We have, I like to keep 2 or 3 people at the table, and then you can read everyone's bio and decide what kind of body work that would suit you best. We have a couple of Reiki practitioners, a full crew of massage therapists, and then Drew is our only chiropractor this year. So if you need a little nurturance, or the tea tent, like I said, at night is a nice little place to come recharge.
Yeah. And so did you, you said Reiki, massage therapist, chiropractor, is there an additional cost to this?
It's $1 a minute. The yoga is free.
Okay.
$1 a minute for the practitioners, which is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And so you can pretty much choose how much or how little care you need.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a lot of cash, it doesn't stop you from being able to come get a few minutes and work out those kinks, or,
Right.
what have you.
Well, I know there's been a sound healing ceremonies in the past. I believe.
We have those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of that.
Okay.
So check out, hopefully the schedule will be online and in the brochure or the program this year. So hopefully if people can just check out which class they think would be most fun and come to that.
Yes, now that you mention it, well, I had it close by, but our program will be, we print about 15 or 20,000, about 58-page, full color programs that are, a little magazine. And so definitely have our healing arts schedule in there and a write-up about the different types of classes. And so that will be coming out probably later. Let's see, in March, I'll say. I'll say that's safe, and that's about the time when all of our schedules will go up. The kids' tent, the healing arts, and so the schedules will probably be online before it's available in print. But
All right.
yeah. So.
But plenty of time for the festival.
Oh, plenty of time for the festival. Plenty of time for you to make up your mind about whether or not you're going to come, and yeah, for sure. And so, we've got a couple of new practitioners. Any new classes that are going to be different this year?
Yeah, there are a couple of new people, and I can't remember right offhand, except for the family one that's going to be on Sunday.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and a lot of the classes actually, a lot of the yoga classes have music to support them. So.
Okay, so there's a kids yoga that doesn't that happen in the dance tent in the mornings, like about 9 a.m. or so?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's kind of outside of the healing arts. We're between the dance tent and the Grove tent. We can pretty much hear what's going on around everything, but we're next to the little spiral that people come and walk.
The labyrinth.
The labyrinth.
And right across the bridge, if you're going from the food court to the meadow, the main stage, turn right, and there's a beautiful path.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite places on the property.
It's really, we seem to get better every year. It's well lit and
well lit all night long.
All night long.
Yeah, and safe. So
come check out the tea tent. It's really nice. That first time we had that was in the fall, and it was a big hit.
It was a big hit.
Yeah.
Tea tent. There's some big cushy, cushions, comfy cushions, and hang out. So, Jen, thank you very much. Folks, we're going to come back with Emily Mussolino here in a second, and then we're going to get into the second half of our program where you're going to start hearing some names. Jen, thank you so much. Definitely check out the Healing Arts section.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
of eternity and into time. Tiny cuts from daggers shooting from your eyes. Silent disapproval. Hope that you'll get right with God. She's the only lover who has shown me grace. Sorry to show up and rub it in your face, but before you call her name to wallow in your shame, did you stop to ask your daughter if she's happy? It's enough to make your mind flip over backwards when the preacher's selling water to the well, and the people pointing fingers at your happiness and joy are so ever-loving miserable. So judge not, lest you be judged. Who are you to speak for God? Who are you to speak for God? People show their colors when they see your light, fabricating differences and starting fights. Gabrielle and Juliet lying nude and unashamed. Can't you just be happy for us for a while? She's the only person left who makes me smile. Oh, silent disapproval. Did I hope that you'll get right with God? It's enough to make your mind flip over backwards when the preacher's selling water to the well, and the people pointing fingers at your happiness and joy are so ever-loving miserable. So judge not, lest you be judged. Who are you to speak for God? Who are you to speak for God? Who are you
Back to the Shakori sessions. We are at Circle City Recording Studios in Pittsburgh, North Carolina. That was Emily Musolino with Silent. I just completely botched the name of her song. Silent. Give me a hand here. Disapproval. Silent disapproval. I disapprove of my memory. So that's what I disapprove of. So I'm here joined by Rich Kilby from Barefoot Press in Raleigh, and our senior member of the Chicory Hills family, Pierre Laffer.
Laffer.
And so
That's good. Americanized.
Americanized,
yeah,
right?
Laffer.
Yes. So tell me, man. You've been involved since day one, pretty much, right?
Pretty much. I mean, the business end with Jeb and them dealing with the business end of the first festival, 2003.
Okay.
I was at the first festival, towing cars out of the mud. We were out from elbow deep, elbow deep in mud. But the thing was, pretty much from the beginning, we were building the sustainability pavilion, the nonagon, so to speak, that's in the center courtyard area there. The summer after the first festival, we were building that.
So sustainability has been something that those, so Jeb and Jordan have been, keeping in the forefront of their mind.
Well, it's been a philosophy from the beginning that we wanted parity. Social parity. We wanted equality. We wanted to be able to have this social, economic, environmental component where we tried not to use the resources. We wanted to develop things that we could get from the land or recycle from the old sheds that were on the property and or any of the other farms around there. We didn't have any money in the beginning. So really, that was the whole idea. It kind of grew out of that. It evolved, it organically evolved to the point where we have a situation where Rich, for instance, is trying to handle the business end. I'm still trying to do the workshops, which is a huge component, we believe, and the do-it-yourself thing, small, is the way to go. We believe that if sometimes we deal more with the idea of equality and as it applies the pillars of sustainability. So we'll deal with this peace justice forum. We had that for a while. Then we would evolve out of that and we deal with, we wanted increased wages.
Okay.
Increase the minimum wage. So we would have that talks coming about with that. Right now we're on a huge do-it-yourself component.
Yeah, you did a canning workshop.
Well, I do food preservation.
Okay.
I start off at 9:30 on Saturdays with food preservation. To most people, it's canning.
Okay.
But the way our talks have been going, it covers from, what we did before refrigeration. We brined or salted, we dried, smoked, and really fermented. Yeah. So we deal a lot of times even with whatever question comes up. I've been talking for the last 3 sessions of this, for instance, dealing with preserving meat.
Okay.
And smoking, brining, and all this stuff, fermenting meats. I didn't mean to do that. Most people talk about canning, but this is what's happening, so that's what we've now have been dealing with.
So do you kind of go with what is out there in the community or what a hot topic is right now, or are you trying to...
we try both, really. We try to move it, we have, for instance, Fuzz Sanderson does the Earth Skills events in the early spring, and some of that, we get a little bit of tidbits from him on what's going on, and then we decide to change our program a little bit. Beekeeping became a hot issue, so we brought the beekeepers, Chatham County beekeepers out, and Moya and Gerald and them, they're all dealing with that. It just keeps evolving like that.
And we do have beehives on the property, out in the parking
the
field.
hinterlands.
The hinterlands.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a fantastic thing. So you've been involved from not only from a programming and a philosophical standpoint, but also, I mean, you're one of the investors when in the community, the purchase of the property.
Yeah, well, I'm in different formats.
Okay.
And I was on the board. I basically started with the work groups 2003, really. After the first festival, we started planning out the sustainability events. I officially cycled onto the board, I think it was 2007 now.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
was on the board, vice president of the board, president of the board, and whereby we negotiated the formation of the LLC,
Okay.
formed the LLC,
Right.
which now has the mortgage, and we have a series of investors in which I am one of them. And we basically are the LLC, and that there takes care of the mortgage, and we have people pay into it here and there, and no one did it for profit.
Right.
The main thing at that time, we had Ann Benfield, who's a great supporter of Shakori Hills. She had the ownership of the property. She wanted to get unloaded at that time, and it needed to stay with us. We
Yeah.
needed a venue.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that's one of the things, key issues here is to make sure we have a venue for the roadshow folks to come in.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. We have a philosophical bent to it all. It really now works organically in the way it just kind of, the coordination and coming up with the festival nowadays is a whole lot easier than it used to be. And it just happens organically. It's really amazing how everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they have their teams, and they have their volunteers, and things just kind of move now.
Yeah.
It used to not do that.
It used to take some pushing, huh?
Yeah,
It
it's just no one knew, sitting around a bonfire and saying, wouldn't it be great to have a music festival?
It takes real easy to say,
it's
really
easy
hard
to
to
say,
execute.
But the success is in the details.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of detail to have a festival take place.
That's right.
And if we didn't have folks like Emily, who's the driver, she drives it.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty good driver. If we didn't have her doing that, it would be a whole lot harder. But it works organically such that everyone just kind of knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes now. I loosely coordinate with Emily on the sustainability events, but I bring people on as it evolves. I bring new groups in. If I see, like right now, we're dealing with all do-it-yourself, including the solar panels, the fermentation, making beer, and food preservation, and beekeeping, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
2 years from now,
Could be totally different.
it could be do-it-yourself musical instruments. you don't know, really.
Well, some of those details is why Richard is here, and so
He's the business.
So he's another Pittsburgh guy, and Pierre, you live out by the property, right?
No, I have a little farmette over off of Mount Gilead Church Road in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I'm now splitting my time. I live up in Carborough now.
Okay.
But yeah, I've always been part of Chatham County.
Okay.
I've known Randy and everyone here in the community for decades.
Gotcha.
So,
And you've been here for
25 years.
25 years. But the way Rich and I met is because he runs a print shop. When I was at NC State in the sustainability office, I asked around, so who's the greenest printer around? And everybody pointed to this guy. And so that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And we've done business together ever since.
We have.
And I realized that this past weekend.
Yeah.
And so you'll see some of this beautiful artwork that we have coming out of Rich's print shop, and he's helping us think through how to be greener in our marketing materials. So tell me, what are some of the things that you're doing that makes our print materials so special this time around?
I think primarily it's the paper choices, and moving to 100% post-consumer recycled sheet was huge. I mean, sustainability in an organization or a business tends to be a ongoing process. You know, it's a never-ending process because you're always making decisions and trying to make those decisions with something. I mean, you have to weigh the cost versus the utility of it, but bringing the sustainability factor into the equation, I think, is important. And that's what you're doing by moving away from the glossy, more corporate paper and getting into a kind of a more organic look. The paper that you're using is about as green as it gets. I mean, there are a lot of good choices out there, but post-consumer recycled content is the most economical on that spectrum, and it's what we mostly print on.
That's well, and as you heard Emily Wilhelm talk about earlier, you know, we've got this trash crew that is, you know, sorting, and so it's a really full cycle.
It's a full circle because the market, by using recycled paper, you're creating a market for what goes in those recycle bins, and that's huge. When they say full circle, that's really what it's about.
Yeah, so you've got to create the demand, so it just doesn't sit there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So.
Yeah. So what are Rich is handling our printing of our hard tickets. So we have special hard tickets that you can pick up at any REI, any School Kids Records in the Triangle, Regulator Bookshop over in Durham, Townsend and Bertram in Carborough, Circle City Books and Music right here in Pittsburgh, and Reddix down in Wilmington and Wrightsville. And so, yeah, those are our main ticket outlets, and those are coming out of your shop. You know, what is that 100% post-consumer, or were you able
that paper is not. Well,
Okay.
the challenge with that was that we needed to have a secure ticket that wasn't easily reproducible.
Yeah.
We also wanted to create a beautiful takeaway for people to have as a souvenir.
Yeah.
So rather than go with additional processes like foil stamping that you'll see on a lot of these corporate tickets, we just chose a beautiful paper and a paper that is not reproducible.
Right.
So I think we've accomplished, you know, with that. Everything's a balance, and the tickets use a relatively small amount of paper. If we had just simply printed that on a white 100% post-consumer paper, we would have then had to layer on some of these more costly effects to keep them from being easily counterfeited. So,
Okay, gotcha.
So what we did there was just use a really beautiful paper.
Beautiful. And so, yeah, and they do look fantastic. So I definitely encourage you to go out, buy a hard ticket if you have not, and check out Rich's handiwork. So what are some of the things that a festival or a business can do? I mean, you know, we're starting here. We've got sustainability programming. We've got the recycling crew and trash crew. We're moving forward in some of our processes, you know, in business decisions. What are some of the things that you guys think that like kind of would take us to the next level? I mean, we're using on-site water. We're asking people
I think you guys are. What I see as I mean, I've been going to this festival since probably the third year of its existence, and it's one of my favorite things about living in Chatham County, honestly. And one of the things that I think Shakori brings to the table is just a great public education component. The fact that there's an emphasis on local, that there are demonstration areas with solar and that kind of thing, I think is crucial. You know, the more public awareness of all the different ways, you know, supporting local breweries even, and you know, just bringing this emphasis on local and sustainable with the water, with the bees, you know, the whole thing I think is really
well,
important.
in the beginning, we had a philosophy that we wanted to be more than just your music festival. We wanted the workshops, and that's where you get the healing arts tent, and you get the vendors who come out, and you get the nonprofits who also come out. We have the nonprofits coordinator who works with them. We wanted to be more than that. We wanted to be more part of the local community, and that it's a testament of how many people will stand up to fight to keep Chicory Hills where it is, the Grassroots Music Festival. It is amazing. There's people who plan their year around it. I plan my year around it. You plan your year around it. And it becomes 8 days out of the year there's 2 festivals in which I will be, and that's
a wonderful schedule
that's
vacation.
how it's,
Right here.
That's
in our
how it
backyard.
is.
4 days, twice a year. Was that the original idea too? Do it twice a year? Or?
No, it was.
No.
No, it was not. It actually had to deal with paying the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We needed to spread
right.
out the money such that we could cover the whole 12 months there. And we've had different strategies on doing that. We've tried having the weekly musical events, for instance, to try to do that kind of thing. And due to various issues, infrastructure issues, we weren't able to do that. But that's all part of the strategy of trying to keep Chicory Hills Community Arts Center viable, as well as keeping a venue for the roadshow folks to come in to put on this festival twice a year. Yeah. And really, it's the business of doing things.
Well, so that's about sustainability too, the financial sustainability of
it
the
is.
organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not just about the environmental impact.
Right.
So and because you can't continue to have a positive environmental impact, if that's such a thing, without a good business plan.
That's right.
Yes. but it's amazing because a month after the festival's done, you can't really tell that there was a festival there.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's you really cannot. The horses are back in the parking pasture area, and they're eating grass, and the goats are in the back, and you can't tell.
Right. That
Really.
a good party just happened.
that a big party, a big expensive party just took
Big
place.
expensive party just happened.
Yes.
So what keeps you guys coming back? I mean, is it the music? Is it just the community? What is it that keeps you coming back?
What keeps you coming back?
I think it's all the above. It doesn't hurt that it's 20 minutes from my house, but I just love the mix of music. It's just a wide. There's not one genre represented there. I get to see blues. I get to see Cajun. We get jam bands out there. Some, Galactic. We had good country bands. We've got some hip hop acts going on. So just being able to walk from stage to stage and with such a great group of people. I've been to a lot of festivals, and to see such a laid-back, easygoing crowd, and it's just. Even the food and I think it's the total package.
The total package.
If it's done correctly, everyone discovers a new genre of music.
That's right.
They discover a new food, or they discover a new society or a new culture that we have going on. Yeah. And it just, the way it evolves though, we were talking about hip hop, just how it's Americana, and we want to expand the presence of hip hop at the festival. Yeah. And so that's a movement. We have some of the late night club music going on, and that's what we work towards.
Yeah.
The DJ tent.
Yeah, the DJ tent,
late night.
Even the drum circle. It's nice to walk around campsites and see people playing their own instruments. Yeah. Kind of the back porch jams that go on.
That's
true. Just a lot of layers of if you want to be involved 24/7, you can.
So anyone out there, you guys out there, if you ever have an idea that you want a certain music genre coming about, please bring it to Grant, bring it to our attention, bring it to my attention, Rich's, and we'll push it forward. We'll ask for some things, but really that's what we're after. We're after for the new discovery. Yeah. We want to push the discovery. We want to nurture it. We want them to outgrow us and eventually move on. So.
That's funny. So our first Shakori Sessions podcast is with Sierra Farrell, who has performed the, let's see, she was here in the fall, and she was here back, I think it was last fall, so past 2 falls. And I told her, and you'll hear it on the podcast, but I said, there's going to come a day when we can't afford you anymore. And so that's part of the goal too, right? There's we've got a niche with Chicory, and we like to to build up new local, regional, and national acts.
Carolina Chocolate Drops is a great example.
Oh,
Absolutely.
You know, we found Carolina Chocolate Drops back in 2005 at a Fiesta Latina in Siler City. Totally wrong venue for them.
Wow.
Told them, we have a home for you. Next fall, they were playing at our festival. They played a couple other times. Too expensive now for us to afford, but that's what we want. We nurture them.
Yeah.
We send them on. We have very varying degrees of success and failure with that, but that's our goal.
That's an interesting tie-in with us, which no one would know, but we printed a songbook for them back in when they were first starting to become successful, and that was one of the 2 times that we won a Best of Show for printing.
Really?
Was that songbook for Carolina
Was that
Chocolate
songbook?
Drops.
Well, there you go, folks. Come to Chicory this spring and hear the next Carolina Chocolate Drops. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for all your hard work and
Appreciate it.
dedication
Very
to
enjoyable.
Chicory Hills. We'll be right back after this slight break. Welcome back to the Shakori sessions at Circle City Recording Studios. I'm here with studio owner and our audio engineer on the Shakori sessions, John De La Force. Hey, man.
Hey, man, what's up?
You know, not much. Hey, it's been like 5 minutes since I saw you.
I know, right?
He's been in the control room back behind the glass wall. So what we're going to talk about, the Shakori Sessions. ShakoriSessions.com launched this week. Where we've got Shakori Sessions Facebook, we have Shakori Sessions Instagram, and definitely encourage you to reach out and follow us there. And so but we have, what, 6 or 7?
I think we got 7 now. Yeah.
7 now in the can. And you know, they're not all edited, but we're getting there. And we've got varying degrees of content from just audio only, which is going to be Sierra's, to what was the last one we did? Rebecca Tide, which is a 3 or 4 camera setup right here.
Through the progress of what we've been doing, it's gotten just better and better, and adding some video to it. Luke McMahon jumped in and is putting the video spin. Everything you're seeing today is kind of his baby.
Yeah.
So that's made it so much more fun, so much exciting, and it's
it makes it, this is taking it to a whole nother level. And we can't thank Luke enough for his guidance and training for John, because I think John knew less about photography than I do.
It's been a very quick journey. So
yeah, so tell me, we were introduced by the former mayor of Pittsburgh. And they say that if you have an idea, you're supposed to verbalize it and really get it out there. And so I was talking to Randy, and I said, I've got this idea for a podcast, but I don't know, who around here would be interested and a good fit for a Chicory Hills podcast. He said, I've got the guy. You got to meet John. And so he walked me up here about 2 weeks before the fall festival, and John and I met, hit it off, and a couple of days later, John's like, I'm in, sign me up. And I don't think he knew exactly what he was getting himself into, but
well, the bands that come in with Chicory are, just at a very hand-picked high level, and I want to work with great musicians. You're only as good as the people making the music. And I like to capture great music, not take something and turn it into something that it's not. So having bands that are on the road, that are coming in and playing for a while, that really got their songs together. And like Western Centuries, for example, they popped in 45 minutes. We did 3 songs in an interview, and there was 6 guys, and then they all just decided they were going to switch instruments. So it was kind of crazy and intense, but there's a lot of fun that happens with that, and get to work with guys like that. I mean, I'm definitely all in and I'm working with that level of musician, and I also want Chicory to be part of Pittsburgh and vice versa. So it's, we need to be the hometown for Chicory, and we're close enough. We just need to keep doing what we're doing, mingling, keeping the businesses working with the vendors and the people that are visiting Chicory is for me, it's really important. I want to strengthen our community with it.
Well, that's awesome, man, and we can't thank you enough for everything you're doing.
You're very welcome. It's twofold.
It will. I appreciate it, man, and it's we've got some awesome podcasts planned for this year. You'll hear the names. Grant Golden is our next guest, and we're going to rattle off a bunch of names, and you'll see that what John and I are trying to do during the festival is grab as many of these nationally touring acts into a local studio while we've got them in town, expose them to Pittsburgh, expose them to the talent here, and produce some fantastic content that is going to really push us forward as a festival and as a community. And so we've got we've got Western Centuries in the can. They came in, did 3 songs, and 3 different guys sang, and John was, I mean, you know,
Actually, I was
working
like,
it
did they
out.
all just change instruments and microphones? And they're like, here we go, song 2. I was like, here we go, song 2. This is happening.
This is happening, and everybody. It's kind of been a one-take shop.
Oh yeah.
You know, everybody we've had in so far is professional enough that they drop one take and they're okay. That's good. Move on, next one. So I think it's made us step up our game and realize that when we come in and do it, it's a real deal. And we're very cognizant and have had conversations around the Shakori brand and what Shakori sessions, you know, can mean to folks and should mean, you know. So we've got like 30 seconds.
Okay.
And that 10 minutes went quick, or we might be getting back on track.
Well, I was supposed to be in there doing the hard work, right?
Yeah, he's usually
So
behind the camera.
If I got 30 seconds, Luke's going to have to go back in here and cut and mute for me.
I can cut you off right now.
I will say some of the highlights for me, definitely Western Centuries. Jeb was really nice. It was like storytelling and him just picking up my old Taylor and grabbing it and going. That was a really good experience. And we got 5 songs of his.
Yeah.
And so much material. I think we'll probably do 2 of them out of that.
We are going to do
and
2.
Then Rebecca Todd was great. I mean, her voice is like pure, man. We had a really good time capturing that, and the video on that's phenomenal. So that will be the first, besides this, the first thing coming out of Circle City that's got just some excellent video with it too, so we can provide more multimedia versus, you know, just sound. So
just sound, yeah. We
all look crazy, so it's important that people see us.
We've got Sierra coming out this week, which, by the way, we've got some hosting problems. So I'll let you know that Sierra will be coming out this week after we get some hosting issues done. And then we've got Haley Jane, Consider the Source in April, and Jeb in May, right before the festival. They'll all be released with the full moon phases in 2020. But that's all at shakorisessions.com. John, I'll let you get back behind the controls.
Yeah,
and thank you. Appreciate it.
Luke, you gonna give me a cut, brother?
Yeah. All right. Behind the scenes action happening. Pittsburgh Pilsner.
Oh, yeah, man. I got to represent some Thirsty Skull. That's
nice. Welcome back to the Chicory Sessions at Circle City Recording in Pittsboro, North Carolina. Here is what you've been waiting for. We have with me Grant Golden, our regional talent buyer. Grant, thanks for coming down, man.
Stoked to be here. I'm excited for the drop.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is, how much time goes into 50 plus acts?
Well, I mean, we start it right after the festival has ended for the previous season.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, basically, we've got like 6 months of work into all of this, sometimes a little bit before the festival, too. So,
yeah,
it's been a lot of hard work. We're excited for it.
6 months of work, and we're going to present it in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, it all boils down to this.
Yeah.
What is there? How does someone, if they're interested in playing, how do they get in front of you or in front of Selena or National Talent Buyer? How do they get in front of you guys?
Well, I mean, I think first off, grind.
Okay.
Like, put in the shows, solid releases, regular releases, but also, we've got our contact information readily available on the website, and it's sometimes the lightning will just strike, like it's the right time for the right band, and sometimes the stars align. Otherwise, though, just grind,
Grind.
We see the hard work, we're watching them.
Right. Yeah, if you don't know, Grant is out at live music venues all over North Carolina, more than he should be.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, yeah.
So he's got his ear to the ground. We know who's local and who's really popping. Some guys that we've brought up and started working with. I mean, so what Pierre was talking about, discovering that music and kind of launching it. That's what Grant's job is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been knocking it out of the park. So when did you start doing this?
So I joined Chicory in the official capacity 2 years ago, actually, spring 2018.
Okay.
But been working in various different areas of the festival for probably since about 2015. So I think that's kind of the story of everyone with Chicory. It's like you got involved somewhere, and now you're where you're at, and who knows where you'll be tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
It could be completely different after this festival.
Yeah.
Well, man, are you ready to do this?
Yeah, let's do it. Why make them wait?
Right. So because we've got these handy-dandy monitors right here, we're going to throw them up, our band lineup. Definitely go to the website, go to Instagram and Facebook. You're going to see the full list there very shortly. And so our headlining act is always Donna the Buffalo Presents, and our headlining act is a return. Who is it?
Del McCory Band.
Awesome.
We're thrilled.
Awesome.
It's going to be so fun. We got a couple of return. I think most of our headliners are returning acts now.
Are they?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're excited. We've got
great.
Rising Appalachia coming back as well for 2 sets. That's going to be really fun.
Those ladies are fantastic.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, they're so good. I'm so excited to have them back. Their second set is always like a little more intimate than usual. So,
Are they going to do the late night, like the dance tent set?
They will be doing, I can't disclose too much, but they will be doing a dance tent set. But they're definitely going to be one of our main marquee headliners. And then, as you guys see, we got Keller Williams coming back too. So I know you guys are going to be stoked on that.
Awesome.
And then, a lot of grassroots favorites are really coming back here. We hear you guys with Dr. Bacon excitement. We're thrilled to have them back. And then also another guy that we're really excited to have towards the top of our lineup this time is Cito Baptista with Lucas Ashby's Brain Trust. That's going to be a fantastic set. There's so much good stuff. I highly recommend that you dig into stuff if you're unfamiliar with who they are, because there's a lot of talent on this lineup.
That's for sure. Our website's going to be updated with bios and photos and all of that good stuff, links to videos and websites here in the coming days. And a good friend of mine that I'm super pumped that we're having back is Greg Humphrey.
Yeah.
He's bringing his electric trio down from New York. He's a Yankee these days.
Always come back.
He's always coming back. Yeah, that's right. And I've got to say, Yes, we heard you loud and clear about Dr. Bacon, folks. And Empire Strikes Brass. That's another one.
So good. Gonna be so good.
That's good.
Trevor's
Yes.
Brothership coming back. We got a couple
man.
sets from them too. Like, there's a lot. Ellis Dyson and the Shambles coming back. Root Shock. It's been a while since we had Lonelands.
Yeah.
So much. And some great debuting artists too. You know, we've got the Blue Footed Boobies from out in Wilmington, who are killer blues, psych rock. We got Sonny Miles doing some really cool neo soul hip hop late night. Like, we got a lot, man. We got a lot.
So this, the ecstatic dance. So it takes place in the dance tent, and that is just you kind of show off whatever you got, and let it happen. Compost theater for the kids will probably also happen in the dance tent. I'm not sure, or cabaret, and so. That's another thing about what our programming is. It's very family friendly. It's very holistic. There's not really one genre, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I think that's what initially drove me to Shakori, because I've been an attendee since 2011.
Oh,
and I
nice.
haven't missed one since, because I went and I was just like, man, there's so much here that I have to keep coming back. And you look at this, and there is no singular thread of, oh, well, this is this specific type of festival.
Yeah.
If it's good music, we're open to it. And like that includes music for kids and by kids. Like
That's right.
Wall of Sound is a great music community center out here in Durham, I believe. And we're gonna have 2 bands that are featuring kids that have gone through the Wall of Sound. So like there's
really?
There's platforms for everyone. We want to bring good music.
I thought
to
that
the
was a
people.
Grateful Dead cover band.
Not yet. Not yet.
They will be.
After the Keller set, maybe. We'll check it out.
Yeah, excited to see Keller. He's a good buddy. He's a friend of mine, Gib Droll. And so that's good. And then we've got Chicory Hills Junior Appalachian Musicians.
Yes.
That is a program that the Community Arts Center does. And if you're interested in getting involved, classes are going to be starting soon. Actually, I believe on Monday or Tuesday, this coming Monday or Tuesday. And those are free or low cost. They're based on your financial commitment or your financial wherewithal. And so the students, they get together, they practice for a season, really. And then we present them on the stage.
Yeah. Every festival. That's one of my favorite parts, in my opinions, of the family programming, is because it's such a great organization. It's not just at Shakori, you know, they do it all over. But getting to see a lot of these kids can then grow up and, you know, become Shakori performers. You know, Shakori's been going on for so long that we see people come from the family programming to the main bill. And that's something that's really, really fulfilling, I think, to see.
We've got kids busking along the trails on the property, and I've stopped and told them, you know, now they've, like, there's a couple, a fiddle player and a guitarist, and now they've got a band, you know, and I'm like, y'all keep doing it because you're going to be on the Grove stage one day.
It's a matter of time. It is.
Right. That's a very family vibe. You know, but tell me, so look, I see a familiar name, Emily Mussolino.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're thrilled for that. God. And her Shakori sets are always so fun, man. Like, high energy, like some fun covers too, and then just like, God, that voice on display, like you gotta love it.
That's
gotta
right.
Love it.
And a little bit of electric, you know.
Yeah.
She starts ripping it up on
She
electric.
kills it, man. She kills it. One of my favorite guitarists in the area, for sure.
And definitely can't thank her enough for being here today and being a part of this. We've got a couple more minutes. She's going to come back, play us out one more tune. We definitely encourage you to check out the lineup. It's and our website, all the social media channels. You know what to do. You know, let your fingers do the walking, and definitely be on the lookout for some new announcements about Shakori Sessions podcast with some of our top heavy acts.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that. And so, who out of all of this, man? You know, what's one that you think, like, or a couple, not just one, what are a couple that, you know, people have to go see? Oh, man.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to say if you had to knock off like 3 or 4, you've got to see this.
Yeah.
The Consider the Source set is going to be phenomenal. Yeah. They came last time and did like an acoustic hybrid thing. Yeah. They're full band this time. They're doing a workshop too. So
awesome.
That's going to be killer.
They'll be on Shakori Sessions in April. So
Empire Strikes Brass 100%. so great, like a 10-piece like funk brass band. You
Awesome.
know that is a Chicory staple. I personally also am really excited for Sonny Miles. Sonny
Yeah.
Miles is a great up-and-coming local artist. Like I said, that neo-soul hip-hop vibe.
Awesome.
That's always fun, too. And then, really, man, the Cito Baptista set is going to be so fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorite things about Chicory is highlighting that experimental world music kind of vibe, and that is going to be bringing it in spades. And then obviously all the great headliners.
And all the great headliners. Awesome. Thank you very much. Emily's going to play us out. Grant, I appreciate all you and Selena's hard work. Y'all bring it every day, and they help make the party.
Yep, glad to do it. Happy Chicory, everybody.
Yeah, happy Chicory. Awesome.
You can set your watch to a new dawn every morning. It ain't gonna be sunny all the time. Sometimes the sky just opens up without a warning. You need folks on which you can rely. True friends stick together through the wind and through the rain. But fair weather friends fall to the side like run off down the drain. Fair weather friend, where you gonna run when those winter winds start blowing? Next time you need help, you can call someone else. Fair weather friend, one rainy morning you'll come to see. But you got no one else to turn to since you turned your back on me. Well, I broke my back attending my friend's garden. She up and took off come harvest time. I held my head up high and I told her, darling, karma's coming up on your behind. 'Cause true friends stick together through the wind and through the rain. The fair weather friends fall to the side like run off down the drain. Fair weather friend, where you gonna run when those winter winds start blowing? Next time you need help, you can call someone else. Fair weather friend, one rainy morning ask somebody else to hold your happiness. It's guaranteed they'll drop it every time. And you can't want the things you want for them, I guess. So I'm trying to let